Hello, it's Alpha Jeremiah on Square Cut Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your #1 YouTube channel. My name is Alpha Adoa Jeremiah. Alongside me, he has really done a lot for the umpiring in Uganda. He has helped so many achieve their dreams come true. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Patrick Makumbi. Welcome to Square Cut Show.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It has been a minute getting you around.
Yeah, it takes time getting prepared for interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always easy. We don't always do interviews. And if this has to be a podcast, then as an individual, you have to get ready so that you give your best.
Okay. But it's nice. It has been a minute getting you. But I really appreciate the time you've given us out.
Yeah, I appreciate your time too.
All right. Okay. Now, Patrick, would like to find out who exactly is Patrick.
Patrick, I would say Makumbi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Makumbi is a Ugandan umpire, a sportsman,
Loud a bit.
former goalkeeper at school, who ventured into football refereeing during my school days, and then luckily or by chance ended up as a cricket enthusiast.
Yeah. Okay. So now you've told us about being a referee in football. How do you compare the two?
I compare the two. They are different.
Yeah.
First of all, to be a football referee, you must know the laws of the game. The same applies to cricket. But then to be a cricket umpire, there is a deeper understanding of the situation awareness that you need to have more than in football, because most of the happenings in cricket are instant, same as football, but then there is a lot to do with interpretation and then making a decision. So the difference is, in cricket, the perception of you as opposed to the football umpire is too different, because in cricket you are not going to be running or chasing after people, but the perception of people around you as they look at you as an individual tells a lot. Yeah, and that's what I've seen the difference. What inspired me in cricket from football is a ref in football is so respected. You understand, there's a foul, as you walk to the player, bigger player than you, and you just touch your pocket, you see player going down, kneeling before you, as in asking for your lenience as a football ref. So when it came to cricket, I had the confidence. It didn't take me long to gain the confidence, because I had it from the other side. I knew sportsmen are respectful.
Okay. All right. So thank you for that. Thank you for that analysis between the referee and the umpire of cricket. Apparently, would like to find out when did you start getting involved with cricket, and at the same time, you jumped into umpiring. What did you first do before you got into all that?
I first knew of cricket during the late 1999.
Okay.
December, somewhere like that, I came through. I knew about cricket. All I knew about cricket mostly was Sachin Tendulkar and Henry Okecho.
Okay.
Sachin Tendulkar, Henry Okecho, and John Rubia. I read about them in the papers. The New Vision always wrote about cricket, and I read about them. Then me, I just saw cricketers. One thing you may not know about me, I'm a born of Naguru.
Okay.
I was raised in Entebbe. And Entebbe Cricket Oval is a place we know as Kakeka. We used to play football there. But I would just walk through and see people putting on the same uniform. Cricketers used to put on white, playing, so you never knew who was versing the other. And that's my other knowledge of cricket. But now if you want to know how I knew about this cricket in Uganda, I was working somewhere. Early 2001, I lost my job. So when I lost my job, I went home, rested. It wasn't a good way. It was a certain embassy in Uganda that I was working at.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good way for me. And then I kept home at my house. I have a friend who is now in Canada.
Yeah.
Called Kato. Kenneth Kato Kakoza. This guy was playing hockey as well as cricket. And he invited me to go for a hockey game. Hockey is sort of football. 11 against 11.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper. There was a team, it's called Rockets today. It was Saddling then. And they couldn't make the numbers. I said, okay, I'll join you. I joined them. Got a stick, played a little bit of hockey. Said, no, I'll venture into the goal. Since they were not making numbers, and the goalkeeper was more of a better outfield player than I would be, he said, okay, I'll go up front, and then Patrick didn't go. I joined hockey. And as I strolled back home, I picked a cricket bat around this place. It was bushy then because I was not playing cricket.
Yeah.
I picked a cricket bat which was void of a handle. Okay, I would say the handle was out and was on the side. I said, oh, I can take this home. Took it home to a carpentry workshop, replaced the handle, came back with it the next day. And the cricketer said, oh, so you can do this? Said, yeah, I can. One of them took it off me. After Semo get a baby. Took it off me and used it to play for ACC. And it worked. So the cricketer said, okay, you guy, you can help us mend our bats. That's how I joined cricket. That's how I joined cricket. Yeah.
And then when did you begin umpiring?
The same Kato I'm talking of.
Yeah.
Was a scorer at the scoreboard. He said, Makumbi, you can help me here. I became his assistant. You call them the board operators or something like that. So I became his assistant. I worked with him. And he taught me how to score in the book. I scored in the book. It took me months, 2-3 months. I was scoring in the book. 2001, I scored. I was awarded score of the year. I didn't have a very good handwriting. I mean, I never wrote so well, but my book studied. And in the book, as things went on, whoever was doing the statistics never got issues with me. So I was the scorer of the year for that year. 2002, at the beginning, I said, no, I can't be a scorer. I can be an umpire.
That was 2000 and what?
Two.
Yeah, okay.
I can be an umpire. I started, did the schools week. After the schools week, I did the league. And when I did the league, I think I did it better than people expected. So, Mr. Ekalunga, the late Ekalunga, started appointing me as a square leg umpire.
Okay.
Earlier than the schools week, So it was around March, April, as a square leg umpire. And I did it. Remember those days, square leg umpire would come. I think UC was paying 12,000-15,000 to the umpire. So the square leg umpire would walk home with 5K. The scorer would walk home with 2K. Then another scorer, the scoreboard operator, 15K. So as I did, the umpires would give me 5K. Eventually, Mr. Longe Baker looked at me. I was coming from square leg, walking, crossing to the other square leg. He looked at me and said, he didn't say, he gestured to me and pointed at the main umpire's end.
Yeah.
Mr. Longe is my godfather as an umpire. Because he said Makumbi, there. I umpired that match flawlessly. From that day, I don't know if Mr. Longe said something to Francis. I never went back to square leg.
Wow.
And that was 2002. That was just months before my first venture into umpiring in the league from the square leg. So that's how it began. Mr. Longe Baker, my teacher, my first cricket teacher. We had a course in 2000, late 2000, my first cricket teacher, And the guy that said Makumbi stand there, I owe him a lot. I've not done anything for him. I still owe him a lot emotionally. Yeah. I do.
Wow. Patrick Makumbi joining us on Square Cut Show. We are live in Kampala, ladies and gentlemen. Just subscribe to Square Cut Show, like and share. So Patrick, as we go back to, we are still on your umpiring journey. What was that feel when you stood as the main umpire on that very day?
Like I told you, formerly I'm a football ref.
Yep.
I have pictures in uniform. I got from a person called Gua today. I don't know where he is now. I was a football ref. I was a football assistant ref. When a big man, I don't think you have seen him, he's called Philip Besimiri, who was umpiring at SMAC, was football refereeing at SMAC, and I was his assistant ref. So Mr. Besimire gave me the confidence. After high school, I went and began being now a main. So when I came to my cricket umpiring, like I said, I was confident. And because Mr. ELONGE, who was one of the top umpires, if not the topmost umpire in Uganda,
yes,
saw it good for me to go as the main umpire. I didn't have any shivers, so I took it on. Yeah.
Wow. That's a good story to hear about. At least, you know, it's good to hear that a person like you who ventured as a football referee turns out to be an umpire in the premises of cricket. We really appreciate your time, Makumbi.
Thank you.
Yeah, and currently would like to find out what games were you playing before? Some games that you played for before, because apparently we now know that you officiated soccer, football, but now what other games were you playing before you really took up and the umpiring role?
Now I'll tell you one thing. The schools I went to had games. Probably I was a traditional African guy. I would say I played football.
Yeah.
I goal kept. I wasn't the best, but I goal kept for my class for the school at a certain time, and I ventured into the refereeing bit of it. If I took up cricket, I was, like I say, accidentally I was introduced into hockey because like I was depressed. I was depressed at home, and people told me, Makumbi, find a job. I said, no. Whatever happened to me, which I will not say here, whatever happened to me led me into saying I will never go back into employment. And I was doing something at home. I was doing something at home. It wasn't fruitful. So the next game after football was hockey.
Yeah.
Which I played, and I didn't prosper. I didn't prosper because it was not intentional that I would play hockey to a certain level. We played hockey for fun and running away from the stress. But because I had a friend now, and Kato was a fresh friend in my life. Yeah. And where he is now, sports has led us there, both of us, where we have reached, sports has led us there. I won't say more about him. So I'll say football and hockey. Yeah.
Okay, all the umpires out there, this is a journey for someone. So it's always good to pay attention, watch, listen to the background of the people who have really been in there, and pick out something that can be of importance to you. So at that moment, I would like to find out, Patrick, you know, so many people have inspirations, people who inspired them. Would like to tell us more about what inspired you to get into umpiring, and who is that particular person you really look at and say, this person inspired me to get into umpiring cricket?
In role model?
Something like who inspires you. It can be like a role model, someone who's like a role model, a person like who really encouraged you a lot to continue with your umpiring.
Now, I'll tell you one thing about my umpiring. First of all, the encouragement was for me because I was into cricket now, and I wanted to get something out of the game.
Yeah.
I had a passion for the game. Like you know, I tried playing the game, and I didn't play well. And I went into coaching, mini cricket and what. I coached, I got some trophies. But like I told you, I first had to learn the game, and I knew what it entails. I knew the essence of mini cricket, because for me, first of all, was enjoyment for the children, and I made that happen. For the umpiring locally, I would not say I have an inspiration. The inspiration was within me to have something to do in the game that I can give to the highest level. Because I thought if I chose umpiring and I was given the opportunity to umpire, I would be a better umpire than I would be a player.
Okay.
After that, I don't know if you are going to ask this question. Who is my role model?
Yes, I was bringing it. I was going to ask you.
Yeah. After that,
Yeah.
I used to look at international umpires. There was Steve Buckner, who is a West Indian, and I will not say he's African, but he's a West Indian, and the old man, Shepherd. But then, I never saw African umpires at international level until I saw Mr. David Odhiambo.
Wow.
Bamba. And I've always said my role model is David Odhiambo. And why I wanted to be an international umpire is Odhiambo made it possible, made it seem possible for me to be an international umpire. Because Odhiambo was invited to Uganda when we played Namibia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called Intercontinental Cup. Odhiambo was invited to Uganda with Subhash Modi. I looked at him. I said, okay, an African boy can do international cricket. And then I always benchmarked myself on him. I always said, okay, if David can do it, I want to work hard. And that's when I began. I'll tell you one thing about umpiring in Uganda and what. We emphasize it. Read and read and read. Try to understand the playing conditions. Try to understand the laws. And I always made sure I read and I understand the law. David Bamba can explain to you the law. You understand? Bamba can explain to you the law, talking about a situation. You understand? Which happens in a match.
Yeah.
So because of him, I said, okay, I'll read. We did some exams, we did what? We have been doing tests and what. I say, yes, you can do tests. What happens tomorrow if what you did in the test comes up in a match? And you have seen it come up. And you find a player at Square League wanting to explain it more than the umpire. So when I went to sit with David, David would explain and explain and explain. 3.2.1 says this and this and this. You understand? And that's why I said, okay, if this guy understands it, I will. He's not too much older than me. He's older than me by a year or month, because he was born the previous year before me. I don't remember the date. So I said, we can work together, given an opportunity. And the best part of it, my first opportunity internationally, I was 26 years ago. This is the 26th year.
Yeah.
It was 2010. I was invited for a tournament, and David was there. And I remember saying it, I never chose the wrong person.
So that was your debut?
Model. My debut, yeah.
Umpire.
My debut was end of August, probably 27th or something.
Yeah.
August 2010 in Namibia.
How did it feel when you got your first debut, as in of umpiring international cricket in Namibia? The first as in, that is the first match you're experiencing, and you're going to umpire that. Could you tell us about that feel and what ran into your mind at that moment?
I didn't feel a problem. The main issue I had is that I lost my luggage, because my flight, I was supposed to arrive in Namibia around midday. I arrived after 1 the next day, 1 a.m. So I had issues. I didn't have uniform because my luggage didn't come in. Then I met some bigger guys from South Africa and what. And those guys helped me. One of them lent me a trouser, but the man was 6-point-something feet. So I had nothing to do. I didn't have any money on me.
Yeah.
So he lent me a uniform. I went for a match. I was confident. First of all, I have Pamba there, my role model. I have ELONGE there, my cricket teacher, the guy who gave me the first step into the game. I was confident, but I didn't look confident to the match ref because I was shabby. And I was, what should I say? I was shabby and I had suffered a lot. Remember, you arrive today, you are going to the match tomorrow. And I arrived at 1 a.m. at the airport and had to wait for 2 hours looking for the luggage, which didn't come. So we get into the hotel, some issues with the hotel, so we were checked into another hotel, which was not supposed to be ours, Protea. And you have to leave that place at 7. Imagine you were sleeping at 5 a.m.
Waking up at 7.
Waking up at 7, have breakfast, go and meet the other umpires, 7:30 or 8, you are driving to the ground. So you have slept for 2 hours and you must stand in a match. That's the time we didn't have third umpires.
Okay.
All the invited umpires had to umpire. So that's what happened to me. And it was not okay as an individual, but not jittery. Yeah. So we carried on. I did my match. It ended a bit early.
Yeah.
Because it was Kenya against Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone were abandoned out. A few minutes before lunch, but the score was so chaseable for the Kenyans. We didn't get to 20 overs in the second innings.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I like asking. I like asking the interviewees this question. The first time they got into the plane, what was their feeling? Like you also, what was your feeling the first time you got onto that plane?
Okay. The first time I got into the cricket plane.
Yeah.
Okay, maturely. That is the time. I had got into a plane in 1982.
Okay.
I don't remember so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Kasese. Yeah. And that's the journey that I went to in Kasese, and I lost my grandmother.
Oh.
1982.
That was an
yeah, there's an airfield in Kasese. So, but I don't have any ideas. But the first time I got into the plane this time, you know, around here, and I know I'm someone who researches a lot. So before that flight, I had talked to people, and they had told me about turbulence and what. I had researched about turbulence and what. Other than the excitement, whatever happened, I was ready for it. So, you'll be surprised I didn't even dream of it. Yet I dreamt of the day I visited the airport in Entebbe in 1991, and I was in primary 7. But I didn't sleep. I was dreaming that we are going. Wow, for this one, no.
Yeah.
I was prepared for it. I was 33. Yeah. I was prepared. I didn't have that excitement because it was long overdue. Like in my inside me, I thought my international debut at ICC level was overdue. Yeah.
Patrick Makumbi joining us on Square Cut Show, live from Kampala. My name is Alpha Jeremiah on your #1 YouTube channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are still continuing with our program. We are still continuing with Patrick. Patrick would like to find out what formats in the game of cricket have you officiated?
Formats. I've officiated first class cricket, first of all.
Yeah.
I umpired in the South Africa League.
Wow.
Premier League. That was 2010. First class cricket. That's cricket where you don't have fielding restrictions. The only fielding restrictions you have are the leg side ones.
Okay.
You understand? So I've done it. I've done an international match, first class match between Uganda and Kenya. Not officially ICC. I did it here in Rugogo. So I've done first class cricket. The most I've done 3 days. For ICC, I've done 5 ODIs. There are only 4 active East African umpires that have done ODIs.
5 East African umpires? 4 East African umpires that have done
ODIs.
ODIs, okay.
Myself, David, Isaac, and Rocky. Most of the cricket I've done is List A. It's a 50 over match. Same playing conditions with the ODIs, but they don't have the status of ODI.
Okay.
List A. So that's the challenge leagues.
Challenge league, that's the List A.
Yeah, that's the List A.
Okay. Can you explain to us more about those, so that the viewers out there would really want to know and understand those formats? The List A, then the ODIs, you know.
So you see, our league,
yes,
the 50 over league, is played on the List A format. ODI is played on the List A format and our leagues here. The difference is the classification by the ICC, which means for an official being that to stand in such kind of matches, you must have a certain number of qualifications and experience. You know, experience is the best teacher. The experience we have garnered is what will let you stand in such matches.
Yeah, because Patrick would like the viewers out there. Some people, some of the people are umpiring, but they don't know. They come out and they say, I'm a qualified umpire, I do this, I know I'm better than the other. But there are formats, so which would like everyone out there to get to know, please.
I'll tell you one thing about qualification of umpires. We are all qualified. What experience do you have? Okay. You understand?
Yes.
You've done, I understand you hold a bachelor's degree.
Yes, please.
And you have seen people doing a bachelor's degree and they'll venture into a master's tomorrow. You understand? Without any working experience. That's what ICC looks at. Yes, you can go, I can go up to level 4, which I'm not looking at my time now. After level 4 umpiring. But then what happens? Today Makumbi has done level 1, tomorrow level 2, tomorrow level 3, and then level 4.
Yeah.
But then what matters is your experience, your field management, your field craft. Those are things you don't learn. You don't do in exams. Those are things you learn here. And those are things that we are judged on. People like us who have done ODIs, you are judged per decision. If someone says, someone appeals and you give it out, there has to be scrutiny. Video, it has to be replayed.
Yeah. Because
you have to be marked per decision. And then your field management, always the camera is on you to watch. What happens when you do? What happens when there's a rain, interruption, ground weather and light? How do you handle that? How do you work with people as teams? Are you a team person? So that's what our umpires have to learn, and that's what they have to learn from some of us, because when they make their bow at international level, they are going to assess you based on that. Because now the match referee is alone. We had mentors who taught us. But now they expect that an umpire doing an international cricket match is knowledgeable. You understand?
Yeah.
So what you wanted to ask is how to get there and what and what. This ODI is the same cricket you play back home. The difference is the intensity the other side. The other one is a class of international cricketers.
Yeah.
The intensity. How do you adapt from your home to that intensity? That's when you need people like me, like John Trust, Simon, who have been there to assist you. That by the time you get there, they don't bring you back down. There's a possibility. Yeah, there's a possibility of doing a single tournament. And sometimes it will be my problem. Why did I let Alpha go to that level without me educating him on what is expected of him? Because there are so many expectations. Yeah. I recently got my report from the ICC for my previous tournament in Nigeria.
Nigeria, actually, yeah.
Yeah, those reports are highly confidential.
I know.
But all the positives I get there, I can share with you. All the negatives I get there, I will share with you. But not telling me this is what was written of me, but this is what we expected to. You understand?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So that's the way it is.
Okay.
Cricket is the same all the way. Playing conditions are the same, but the rules and playing conditions are the same, although you add your local ones to suit you. They will not differ tremendously from the ICC.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Viewers out there, I think you've heard it all. In case you need more about Patrick Makumbi and such formats, talking about now the real umpiring, in depth of umpiring, don't worry, we shall still have another episode with him about all those details on what it means umpiring, most especially in associate cricket. So ladies and gentlemen, stay around. So we still have Patrick around. So we'd like to find out the other bit away from the cricket. Would like to know what Patrick exactly does. Patrick, what do you do during your free time?
Yeah, during my free time. No, my free time I'm free. My free time I'm free. So I don't know what are you asking? Yeah.
Okay. What I mean by if you're not in cricket, what do you be doing? And what else? What other jobs or what other opportunities do you do apart from cricket? Let us combine them like that.
Yeah, if I'm not from cricket, if I'm not doing cricket, you know, the day I left my job, not say I left, the day I lost my job. I was invited back, I couldn't go back because of what I went through, so I lost my job.
Patrick.
The day I lost
you just give me 5 years. You just
the day I lost my full-time employment,
yeah,
I ventured into sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And I do that well. So I began by selling sports shoes. Then I sold sports shoes, but then I got my clients. My clientele is too big. You look at my contact list, I have 2008 contacts. Of the 2008 contacts, over 1,500 are my clients or have been my clients. You understand?
Wow.
So I ventured into sports stuff. I have a small shop just over there. Yes. I have outlets in town which we share. It's called co-renting.
Co-rent.
We co-rent. But I deal in sports shoes, both new and second hand. I sell cricket stuff. And I buy stuff abroad, which I sell. I buy stuff on apps, which I sell. And that's what I do. And I'm very comfortable with it because, yeah, I will not say how much it brings in.
No, okay.
It brings in enough. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear, Patrick. So what has so far been your best international cricket game that you have umpired?
You know what I'll tell you? I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I don't choose games. I don't really gauge games. That is my best or what. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's no best umpire in the world. Like, they are top umpires, yes. I'll not say best, they're top umpires. So, I don't remember much that I did, and I came out so down. Although there was a match that I did, and I got feedback from my leaders that the captain has said this. If you want to ask for my best What should I call it? Okay, my best day, my best time coming off the pitch. I was in Botswana, 2011, and the match was at Botswana against Germany. So this German bowler was too big, I think it was 6'5", and huge, 2 feet wide. So he appealed to me, how is it? I said, not out. He appealed again, not out. So, inside me it was not out. When I walked off the pitch, one man came and tapped me. Young man, I love you for your confidence. So, that situation there was it's my best moment. Because that man didn't, it doesn't mean a lot that it's not my match referee.
Yes.
I had a match referee then, it was Mr. David Jukes. He's from England. But the confidence of the crowd. Because as an umpire, one thing you have to know is what's the perception of those people. You have seen umpires. You have seen, we have been on the ground and someone says, hey, Makumbi, you want to own the match. Things like that. That umpire, he feels his everything, you understand. But when you come out and someone says, I love your confidence, that means he has not noticed you for wanting to own the match, but he has noticed you for what you are sent there to do, is to be confident and make a decision and sell your decision. So I would say not out, and I would even at least bump around. You understand? So he said that. That's the best moment. I will not talk about a match where I feel I've done it, no, because I don't go there to compete with myself or compete with anyone.
Yeah, but the rumors we get out there, the people say that Patrick is always there for you whenever you get a chance to umpire with him. So that's the feedback that we get. We really appreciate you for that.
Yeah, like you said, I want to be there for you.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you down as an umpire because luckily for me, I'm the most senior active umpire in Uganda for now. I would expect that if Alpha wants to work with me, he wants to get something out of me, not to dampen your morale. Yeah. When you say the room, I thought it was something bad. Okay, so we can call it the feedback you get.
It's a feedback.
And that's
actually
a good feedback for me. And I've seen people working with me, and even they go on their social media handles and say, I'm privileged to have worked with Mr. Makumbi. And that's very good for me as I age closer to my retirement. You see, as you grow up, as you grow and grow and grow, you know not be here forever. But if they have the knowledge you are passing on to other people, there will be people who will say, that's because of Makumbi that I'm here. Like I always say, it's because of ELONGE. I've mentioned him in my annals. I've written some stuff about ELONGE. I don't want to show him because I recognize what Mr. Beck has been to me.
Actually, even in this interview, you have talked about him 5 times.
Yeah, because there is no other ELONGE, so I cannot talk about any other person. Yeah, like when it comes to my umpiring, I know a lot of people helped me. Because Mr. Chisui, I remember Mr. Chisui saying something about me when I was arguing the players and saying this and this, and I was educating them on the laws. And that was long before I was recognized as a proper umpire. And he came and said, Makumbi, I heard you arguing with the boys, but you have a lot of sense. I didn't expect it from you. I said, oh, okay. I
said, okay. Feedback.
Yeah, I said, okay. I was happy. Yeah.
Okay, that is good to hear, Patrick. Have you ever experienced any toughest moments in a game?
Tough moments?
International.
Yeah.
And how was it?
You know, you have worked.
Do you still recall the game? As in the game?
Games. Games. I'll tell you one thing. A game of Uganda and Kenya is bigger than the game of India and Pakistan, of Australia and Pakistan.
They call it what? Munyingo what?
That Mujingo Derby or whatever they want. That Mujingo came here during Museveni's time or something.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Kenya and Uganda, they are looking at themselves as brothers. As you know, those children you get, one is 1 year, another one is 2. So they are close to each other. You understand? So they see each other. So that game is tough. I did a game here, which was so tough for me, but I handled it. You see, you know me. I'm someone easy. I would say, is it rowdy or what? Someone is hyped all the time. But you have seen me umpiring. I'm always laid back.
I've seen you many times umpire.
Yeah, I'm always laid back because I know the occasion is not for me. It's for the players. But I will always come in when required. I will not push myself into it. I'll come in when it's required. So the game I did that was so tough for me was a team called Parklands.
Okay.
That you were a young man then. Parklands playing against Premier. Premier was the best team for Indians. I would say Indians. Hindu.
Okay.
Premier then. Not the Premier I was seeing of today. And Parklands was a team comprised of the top best Pakistani players. That's when they had begun selling cars at the bonds there. I think it was 2002, 2003. 2003 probably. That match was so heated. Premier, I think, made 180 odd runs. Parkland was in, after 10 overs, I think it was 120.
Wow.
So it was just hitting the ball, don't look at it, just hit it. And fights and what, insults in their languages, they speak the same language. But then, they collapsed in a certain manner, but I handled that game. So that was the most heated game I've ever done. I've seen others, but those ones now, I'm more experienced to handle them. Yeah, but then I was new, and the heat was too much. It got to me, but I won't say it was. It was tough, but it never faced me.
Which is one of those international grounds that you've umpired on, and yeah, and how was that feeling?
You know, growing up, I always thought of the Lords.
Yeah.
The Lords as the cricket ground. So these are the international grounds. I will not say I've felt, but I've felt proud. Felt proud that I've done on a ground which has had a World Cup.
Yeah, that's it.
Senwes Park is in Potchefstroom, South Africa, northwest. Senwes Park is my first proper international ground. But I did at Benoni in Johannesburg. I've been to the Wanderers, not to Umpire, but I've been to the Wanderers. But Senwes Park is like my best cricket ground I've ever been to. As an umpire.
Wow.
Yeah. I've umpired in Jimokana, Kenya. It's a good ground. I've umpired in Nigeria. It's a well set up ground. It's called Tafawa Balewa Square. Yeah. But you see, the thing is, you want to go to good grounds. But I've not had the hype. You understand? Like the grounds I've been to, the matches I've been to where there has been that hype. It's Lugogo here.
Okay.
When Kenya was playing Uganda. But because we have 8 umpires, there is no way I will stand in that match. You understand?
I know.
Yeah, but
okay.
Because you want the atmosphere. If you are talking about the atmosphere, yeah, I've been to those good grounds, but the atmosphere is, you have a team, you have Sierra Leone, 16 of them in the squad, playing against Rwanda, another 18 plus 18 in total for each team, 36 people, and then a few South Africans working there, and us the umpires. The ground's good, but the atmosphere is not that electric that you would want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Patrick Makumbi still joining us on Square Cut Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we really thank you very much for staying on Square Cut Show. My name is Alpha Adoa Jeremiah. on your number one YouTube channel. So as we're about to conclude, Patrick would like you to give us some remarks. What can you say to the young umpires out there who really look up to umpiring, and the new umpires who really wants to come in and start doing the umpiring job?
Yeah, what I would say to the umpires is, first of all, get into umpiring, love what you're doing for the umpiring. When you love umpiring for the umpiring, the rest will fall into place. After doing your courses, learn and understand what you have done in the course. Because whatever you're going to do is not on the paper that you have filled. It's on the cricket ground. Keep updating yourself on whatever happens. Keep updating yourself on whatever comes, because laws and playing conditions keep changing. If you can't understand the law well, read it. Ask people above you to explain. Because the way I'm looking at it now is having a group of umpires and start throwing scenarios to them.
Okay. Scenarios
to them that will see them prosper. Because when you see a scenario, some of them I've had people sending me scenarios which have looked stupid. At the end of the day, you go back and read it and you say, yes, this may happen. This may happen. When it happens, what do I do? And then the advice to them is, don't be over aggressive. Don't be over aggressive. If you bet a good umpire, you will be noticed.
Wow.
That's one thing I always tell people. If you're a good umpire, you'll be noticed. Don't compete with anyone, because some people, you may compete with some people and probably they are not people you compete with. They'll break you down. You understand? Because the competition can become intense. Don't compete with anyone, even on the ground. Yeah. Always supplement your colleague. Compliment them. Don't compete with them, because you are not there as competitors. You may think you're a better umpire, and by the end of the day, you are the worst umpire. I've worked with boys, not so many that have had issues on my side, but I've worked with boys who feel Mr. Makumbi is far better than them. But then you come out and you see that all the questions are coming towards you. You understand? All the controversy, okay, I'll call it controversial, because whatever I say, hey, there's controversy there. All the controversies are coming to the senior umpire. And not me, all my other senior umpires. So the thing is, the advice I give them is, read. Giving you an opportunity to stand in a match does not qualify you as an umpire. Yes, one umpire of the day, but what's an umpire? You understand? An umpire must be knowledgeable. More knowledgeable about the laws and playing conditions than the players who are umpiring. But you coming and standing and you think it's done, it's not done. So that's the advice I give them. Go and umpire. Keep reading. Whatever happens, you are not a competitor to anyone. You are competing against yourself. If you have done 90% today, look at doing 91. Better yourself. Look at the one-pointers. There are so many things. How do you communicate to your partner? Now, silent signals, we have them. You look at me and you do something. You are not saying, you are not talking to me. How do I do that? That's how you are going to grow.
Yeah.
How do I look at the situations, injuries and what? Yeah, that's the advice I'll give the boys and girls.
Okay, any greetings, any parting remarks or greetings you're sending to the viewers out there?
Yeah, if I have any remarks to the viewers, I'll just tell them, keep supporting the Ugandan umpires. If at all this gets to the leadership of the Uganda Cricket Association, we thank you for the support you are giving the Ugandan umpires. And please keep supporting them so that you can see them build for international level. Let's organize courses for them. Let's organize tutors for them tutors that ICC has made for them to get our umpires from our local competitions to the international competitions.
Yeah. Wow. We really thank you very much, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you too.
Patrick Makumbi, thank you very much for joining us on Square Cut Show. We appreciate you, and it's been a pleasure having Patrick around. And let us hope, Patrick, in case we need you around for anything related to umpiring, will you avail yourself and we talk about it?
I'll tell you one thing. In cricket, I'm not only into umpiring.
Yeah.
If you can say anything related to cricket.
Actually, yes, anything related to cricket.
Yeah, I'll be available.
You'll be available. Thank you very much, Patrick.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being on Square Cut Show. It's been a pleasure having you all. We really thank you. I remain Alpha Adoa Jeremiah on Square Cut Show. Subscribe and like, share. Thank you very much. I salute.